Next thing is agile meetings. Usually a weekly update meeting is called agile meetings. Although we have a 2 week sprint or a 3 week sprint, agile meetings are this weekly status update meetings. Usually what happens is in the daily sprint meeting or a sprint retrospection or even the sprint closure meeting, there is no detailed update about the tasks. What happens here is we list down 10 tasks and they just discuss about the blockers in these meetings. So out of the 10 tasks that I have, two tasks have blockers. So, hey, the Scrum Master, please help me remove these blockers. So that's what happens in these sprint meetings because they are very short in time. But in the agile meetings that we are talking about, the team members or the development team members, they are given more time to explain the statuses of the tasks. So we cannot just give a high level or a bird's eye view of the tasks that are going on. So the detailed status of each one of the tasks is given in these agile meetings. That is what this is for. Usually this is chaired or owned by the product owner, not the scrum master. So these roles and responsibilities of who a product owner is, who's a scrum master, we will learn a bit. Just keep it in the back of your mind that agile meetings are done by product owner, but daily sprint meeting, sprint retrospection, and sprint closure, these are done by the scrum master. So with that said, daily sprint meeting, what is this? They are, as I said, they are arranged by the scrum master. This is a very quick status update meeting. This is usually 15 to 30 minutes, but mostly it is 15 minutes only. And so typically what happens here is just the blockers are discussed. So for the 10 problems that I listed, they are in progress, but two of them have blockers because of some of the stakeholder. And that stakeholder, developer, do not have influence over. So the scrum master, who is more influential than the developer, he will go and speak to that particular stakeholder who is blocking the issue, or speak to the customer or speak to a vendor, whoever is blocking that issue, whoever is creating that impediment, he will speak to them and then clear that impediment for us to move ahead. So what is a sprint retrospection? This, I think, as we discussed, this is the core value of our agile practice. What happens here is that the development team is gathered once, in every sprint by the scrum master to put forward any sort of problems that are facing in the sprint methodology, right? So here we are not discussing mostly about the project updates or the product updates. It's about the methodology itself. Is there any change that is required to be happening here? Like for example, as I told, the sprint could be 2 to 4 weeks. So one of the team members thinks the 4 weeks is too long. Let us do it for 3 weeks only, or 2 weeks sprint only. So this is discussed well within the team. This proposal is put forward, and then if everybody agrees that yeah, the sprint should be just 3 weeks longer, not 4 weeks, then the decision is taken immediately. Or another example could be the frequency of the daily sprint meeting also. Right? So as I said, this is a daily sprint meeting. It has to be done every day. But if the team thinks because of the organization's priority or sometimes the project is too heavy, so much workload is there that the team cannot meet every day. So they will again accordingly decide that, okay, we will meet 3 times in a week instead of 5 times. So all this retrospection is done, and all the changes are welcome. And if everybody in the team agrees, then the same is implemented here. What is a sprint closure meeting? The last one, as the name suggests, after the agreed time slots of the sprint, the Scrum Master calls for a closure meeting. So the development team has to present the statuses of the tasks closed. So if they are closed, it is not very much discussed. But if some task is pending, why it is pending? So for the closed tasks also, if there is something new lessons learned, that lessons learned is shared with the team. So what happens is for each and every task that we are closing, because of this new technology that we are getting, I think we are right now, most of the organizations that are using the tools like the Kanban tools, like for example, Jira. Jira is a very famous tool. It's a very old software, but still it is becoming more and more prominent because of the Jira. Or some people use OneNote as a very important tool. So in all these tools, each of the tasks is listed and it is given as separate dedicated space where you can record the story of how it is closed. So from the start, when the sprint begins, they will start the task, they'll name the task, about what is to be done, they'll describe the task. And then as the sprint progresses, after 2 days or 3 days, if the project team member has added some value to it, he will mention that status within against that task. So even during the daily sprint meeting, the A Scrum Master will ask these development team members whatever statuses that they are giving, they have to be recorded against that particular task. So at the end of the sprint closure meeting, there is a nice story formed about how the task has started, what value the developer has added, the key stakeholder has added, or what were the blockers, how were these blockers removed. All this will become a very valuable lessons learned at the end of the sprint closure. And because it is recorded, it is there forever in the organization. It can form a organizational process asset for the projects to come. So I think with that said, we have closed another topic of defining Scrum. Let's move to the roles and responsibilities section. So in this section, what we will do is we will understand different roles that are available in this agile approach, or the Scrum approach to be precise. There are so many agile approaches. So as we are discussing about Scrum, we will only talk about this Scrum methodology here. So what are their key roles, key responsibilities, and key activities of each person? We'll understand this. So as you can see here, there are majorly four types of roles and some additional roles also we will discuss. So the product owner, somebody who is an expert of the technology, so who can talk to the customers of this product. So basically, he's the architect of this complete technology. So Scrum Master is us. When I say us, it is the project manager. So our main target will be to engage with the people in this new project, and get things moving, right? So that is the main job of a project manager. We have to get things moving. And development team is the stakeholders or the team members who are directly working for the project. And the managing team are the people who has this approving authority, right? So they are the top bosses, the functional leaders. So they are the higher management who assume these leadership roles and who can actually approve something, right? They have the authority or power to stop something or give additional approvals for something. So they are this managing team. And other roles are like the customer, for example. The customer also plays an important role in the total Scrum methodology. And there are some other non-contributing stakeholders also, right, who are directly not contributing to the project, but they are acting as a support for the project. Like, for example, consultants. We will consult them. They are not directly related to the team, but they still contribute to the project, right? So such roles. So let's have a quick look at each one of them. The product owner. So product ownership is a actually multi-faced job. So firstly, the product owner should be aware of the technology, because everyone in the development team are going to look up to this product owner if in case they have some issue. So he's like the big boss, or not actually the boss. He is the one who is master of all the subcomponents, the jack of all trades, who at least knows the functionality of each and every subcomponent. So he is aware of the technology that is going on in the product or the organization. So it goes without saying that he has to have a sound knowledge on all the subcomponents. If he doesn't, then he's not the right product owner. So we have to rethink about who the product owner should be. So she or he is like the key person in the project who has experience doing a lot of projects within that organization, who knows the way in and way out from this organization. So, and he knows a lot of people within the organization, and also might be knowing a lot of people within the customer organization, because he has experience working with those customers before. So also the product owner connects daily with the customers, not daily, at least frequently. Whenever we say there is a sprint, he interacts with the customers quite frequently to keep on updating the statuses of the project. So one more responsibility of the product owner is the task list. He provides the backlog tasks to the team. Backlog actually starts from the product, as we have discussed before, and the product backlogs are then converted to the project backlogs. This activity is actually done by the product owner's supervision. So the priority of the tasks is also set totally by the discretion of product owner. So if the team brings out the list of 10 or 15 tasks to be done, he is the one who decides which is the topmost priority, right? Of course, the team members can propose that, okay, I want to do second task before the first one. So if he can convince the product owner, he will just approve it. So ultimately, the final decision on whether the task is on the priority, or the final decision on whether the task is complete, or as we discussed, done. So that done stamp is given by this product owner. And when we say delegation, he has the authority to delegate these tasks to the team members. In most of the cases, the tasks are related to multiple commodities within the product. So if in case some special task has come, for example, so let's say a new concept we have to work on, so the product owner, he has the authority of assigning who has to do this task. We have, let's say, 9 key team members. Out of these 9 key team members, although the responsibilities are defined, product owner can decide out of these key team members who can take up this task, right? So he has the power of delegation.